Hi welcome to Storytime with Mrs. Shooty. I'm going to continue reading our Matilda book. So I'm just going to read a little section and then we can have a chat virtually. So the next chapter was called Miss Honey. And did you remember making your predictions about who Miss Honey might be? Matilda was a little late in starting school. Most children begin primary school at 5 or even just before, but Matilda's parents, who weren't very concerned, one way or another, about their daughter's education, had forgotten to make the proper arrangements in advance. She was 5.5 when she entered school for the first time. The village school for younger children was a bleak brick building called Cruncham Hall Primary School. Not sure if I'd like to go to that primary school. It had about 250 pupils, aged from 5 to just under 12 years old. The head teacher, the boss, the supreme commander of this establishment, was a formidable middle-aged lady whose name was Miss Trunchbull. Now hold that name in your heads. Naturally, Matilda was put in the bottom class where there were 18 other small boys and girls about the same age as her. Their teacher was called Miss Honey, and she could not have been more than 23 or 24. Now I want you to just think about the choices of the names. We've got Miss Trunchbull and we've got Miss Honey. So what do you think the author was trying to do when creating those two names? Miss Honey had a lovely pale oval Madonna face with blue eyes, and her hair was light brown. Her body was so slim and fragile, one got the feeling that if she fell over, she would smash into 1,000 pieces like a porcelain figure. Miss Jennifer Honey was a mild and quiet person who never raised her voice and was seldom seen to smile, but there is no doubt she possessed that rare gift for being adored by every small child under her care. She seemed to understand totally the bewilderment and fear that so often overwhelm young children who, for the first time in their lives, are herded into a classroom and told to obey orders. Some curious warmth that was almost tangible shone out of Miss Honey's face when she spoke to a confused and homesick newcomer to the class. Miss Trunchbull, the headmistress, was something else altogether. She was a gigantic holy terror, a fierce, tyrannical monster who frightened the life out of the pupils and teachers alike. There was an aura of menace about even... Let me reread that sentence. There was an aura of menace about her, even at a distance. See, when you make a mistake, reread it, and so you can check what the understanding is. There was an aura of menace about her, even at a distance, and when she came up close, you could almost feel the dangerous heat radiating from her as from a red-hot rod of metal. When she marched, Miss Trunchbull never walked. She always marched like a stormtrooper with long strides and arms a-swinging. When she marched along the corridor, you could actually hear her snorting as she went. And if a group of children happened to be in her path, she ploughed right on through them like a tank. Thank goodness we don't meet many people like her in this world, although they do exist. If you ever do, you should behave as if you were met by an enraged rhinoceros out in the bush. Climb up the nearest tree and stay there until it has gone away. Now I'm going to pause our reading there for today, and what I'd like you to do is I would like you to draw and describe Miss Trunchbull and Miss Honey. You could just label your picture. Remember, keywords, you don't have to write sentences, but I'd love you to have a think about, what might these characters look like? And yes, if you've seen the movie, I know you'll have a bit of an idea, but remember, each illustrator or each movie producer creates their own images. So there's no right or wrong, it's just using the information that we've been provided. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.